Hey, what's up? Josh here, husband, father, veteran, trying to be a man of character, of course, entrepreneur. Today, we're here for day 4 of our 28-day February 2026 journey, where I'm highlighting amazing individuals that I'm working with and projects that I'm working on for them, as well as some of the projects that I'm working on um, for myself, sometimes by myself and sometimes with others as well. And today is such a project. This is a platform in which my team had created for my wife, Yolanda. In case you don't know, she's been teaching for almost 20 years. She's a principal, Dr. Colbert, um, and basically, she was talking about this need of teachers to be able to be more effective at creating lesson plans, so they're able to increase their effectiveness at being better instructors. And of course, by being better instructors, students are able to take in the information more effectively, and then, of course, become more better academic achievers. And so, basically, what she wanted to do was to create a platform that allows teachers to plan faster, teach stronger, to be engaging, and to be able to create research based in, most importantly, culturally relevant lesson plans in minutes, not hours. So today what I want to do is present Lesson Planner Pro, which we've created, and tomorrow I'm actually going to provide you guys with a treat. I'm going to interview um, my wife Yolanda, Dr. Colbert, and then she could provide some additional insight. So let's go ahead. I'm already logged in, and so let's just go ahead and create a new lesson plan so you can see how it works. You see how effective the platform is. So let's say basically there's a bunch of different pieces of information that you can place in here: the topic, the concept, the grade level, the subject, how long is the lesson, and then there's additional information that you could provide here as well. So, what's the standards, your preferred approach for teaching, and the kind of lesson that it's going to be. But for the sake of this example, and I want to make this quick because it's extremely late, is I'm just going to say why would it be in February? Why is Black History? Why should Black History Month be important uh, to everyone? I'll say in the U.S. And let's say grade level. Let's say that they were teaching this class in, let's say, the 10th grade. And then we'll just say this is a 45-minute session. We could select a subject. This will probably be under history, would it be Black History Month? So we can go to core academics. Guess that would be either be social studies, um, media journalism, no, cultural, African studies, indigenous, Asian, civic, cultural awareness. So we'll do ethics and cultural awareness. I think that might be appropriate. And then let's just go ahead and click generate complete lesson plan. Now, one of the things to note is that through Yolanda's research, she identified that on average, it takes about 77 minutes to be able to create an effective, engaging, and most importantly, culturally relevant lesson plan. And I want to always say most importantly because that's usually one of the main things that tends to be lacking when these lesson plans are being created. And as you can see, it says lesson plan has been generated. So let's scroll down. Beyond a month, Black history's enduring impact on our shared American identity. Here's the learning objective that I can explain why understanding Black history is essential for all U.S. citizens to grasp the full narrative of American history and identity. Here's the success criteria. I can identify key contributions of Black Americans that have shaped U.S. society, culture, and progress. I can describe how Black history intersects with and informs broader American historical events and movements. I can explain the ongoing relevance of Black History Month for fostering a more inclusive and accurate understanding of our national identity, and I can articulate how acknowledging diverse histories enriches our collective civic understanding. It falls along these particular standard alignments, these particular standards, and then so each lesson is made up within 3 phases. And I'm not an educator, but the first phase is to be able to engage. The second phase is to apply the information. And then the third phase is to review. And all of this is based upon the information that's provided above, in particular, this duration. So if you scroll down, so here's the hook. Imagine trying to understand a complex tapestry by only looking at one color. American history is a vast and intricate tapestry woven from countless threads of different experiences and culture. If we only focus on certain threads, we miss the richness, the strength, and the true picture of the whole. Black history isn't just a single thread, it's the foundational part of the weave that gives the entire fabric its meaning and resilience. This perspective connects directly to our lives today, and understanding the past informs our present, social structures, and shapes our collective future. So that's how you bring them in. So I'm not going to go through this entire thing, but this is how we activate prior knowledge, which is something that's very important when it comes to learning. This is one of the missing pieces that a lot of educators and instructors don't apply, which is the cultural connection. Before we delve into the academic text, let's share moments from our own lives. Think about a family story, a community tradition, a historical event important to your heritage that might not be widely known in school. So there's ways. So it's giving the instructor the information that they can utilize to be able to tap into creating a more culturally rich lesson plan. So yeah, so that's number one, is to be able to engage. Step two, or phase two, is to apply. There is a phase in learning called I do, we do, you do. So it's like, hey, this is what the teacher does. I do. Step one, step two, step three. The next step is we do. So as a class, we're doing this collectively. And then step three is independent practice. And this is what the student would be doing themselves. A reflective journal entry, so on and so forth. Here go the learning activities. Differentiation strategies. This is something important. So for struggling learners, please provide sentence starters in a word bank for the journal entry and graphic organizer. Offer pre-selected pairings of historical events and Black American contributions for the graphic organizer, reducing cognitive load, and allow verbal, responsive, or drawing for the beyond the month billboard concept. So, and then of course, there's something for advanced learners as well, to encourage students to research a lesser known Black American historical event or figure for the graphic organizer, and explain its broad national impact. And then lastly, we have these UDL considerations, which is universal design learning, which, I'm not an educator, but, my wife said this is something that's also very important to be able to create effective lesson plans. And then phase three is the review, creates the assessments, quick write, students respond, why is Black history essential for understanding the full American narrative rather than just a separate celebration, so on and so forth. Here's a closure or a reflection activity. And then here's some homework. 3 different levels. There's an easy level, medium level, hard level. And there's even parent communication, which is optional. So yeah, so that's what this is. When you scroll up, here's a lesson delivery script. So let's say, for instance, you may be a new teacher, or this might be a new lesson, something you haven't taught about previously. So it actually gives you the script. Here's the hook. Just kind of basically the training wheels, or just a guide that you can utilize to reference from an abridged standpoint. But then if you want the most robust lesson plan, you can just go to print, and then you can actually download the entire lesson plan. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, well, love to hear your thoughts, especially if you're an educator. If you know anyone who is an educator, would love for them to try out the platform. Let us know what you think. Lesson Planner Pro is the name of the platform. So yeah, so this is another project that we, Bozo Marketing has worked on, created, and continuing to improve. And what's amazing about Lesson Planner Pro is that it's not just for educators, like for school teachers. There's I know a pastor that's utilizing the platform and using it for Sunday school. There's a daycare that's using it for teaching the children who attend the daycare, like shapes, sharing, these other topics and things that are very effective for very young children and toddlers to know. And whether you're teaching life skills, you know, uh, from STEM, computer science, engineering, robotics, data science, drama, theater, philosophy, health and wellness, cultural and social studies, personal growth and life skills, financial literacy, and of course core academics. And you don't even need to fill out this particular field. All you need is a concept, all you need is a grade level, and all you need is the duration of the lesson or the time that you have to deliver the lesson, and Lesson Planner Pro will take care of the rest. So, um, thanks for tuning in for day 4. As mentioned, day 5 is going to be a treat because I'm actually going to be interviewing my wife, Yolanda. She's going to be able to provide some additional insight on Lesson Planner Pro and just the importance of having a platform like this and trying to uh, uh, reduce or improve the student achievement gap. And yeah, if you have any questions about the platform, if you have any questions about creating your own software, anything about marketing, anything about advertising, or just business growth, please ask a question or a comment in the comments below, and yeah, I'll get you squared away. So thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you tomorrow.